Tonight on Elon Local News.
He was a genuinely good guy, and I think that civil and caring and considerate of others.
Remembering a president, we reflect on George H.W. Bush's death and his impact on members of the Elon community.
How the BioBus is working to serve sports fans and those living off campus.
And Lanes of Light, how one community in Burlington spread Christmas cheer over the weekend.
All that and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Grace Morris.
And I'm Samantha Casamento. President George H.W. Bush's body now lies in state at the U.S. Capitol building in Washington. A presidential airlift flew him from his home in Houston to D.C. earlier this afternoon. The 41st President of the United States was 94 years old when he died Friday night.
Bush came to Burlington in 1992 during his re-election campaign and visited Elon's campus in 2001 to give a convocation address, staying with Leo Lambert's family. Our Selena Guevara talked to an Elon staff member who reported on Bush's White House and asked Dr. Lambert about the time the 41st president stayed at the Maynard House.
I want to especially thank President Lambert and his wife.
Well, I don't think he was one of those people that had a private persona that was different than his public persona. I mean, he was a genuinely good guy, and I think that civil and caring and considerate of others.
When George H.W. Bush stayed here during his Elon visit in 2001, the Lambert family enjoyed quality time with the 41st U.S. president at the expense of reorganizing their sleeping quarters because the Secret Service deemed the usual guest suite not secure enough.
We swept into the beautiful Maynard house over there, swept him right out of his bedroom, bathroom, closet, and we're enjoying it. We may not leave. Thank you, sir, for the...
We were honored to have President Bush sleep in our bed.
Bush's entourage also caused an obstacle course for Lambert's daughter Callie, who was just learning to drive.
The whole street and the driveway is lined with Secret Service vehicles and police vehicles, and she's trying to weave my old Volvo between all these vehicles. And I said, Callie, if you can maneuver this, your driver's exam is going to seem really easy.
University archivist Linda Lashendock worked as a CNN White House producer during Bush's term. She says the way he interacted with the reporters.
Oh my gosh, certainly not like days today. He was very respectful of the press and he knew that they had a job to do.
She also says the president went out of his way to get to know his citizens.
He would always ask the individuals for their first names, and it was remarkable, and he remembered them. That was the other thing, he remembered them.
Lambert says the biggest takeaway he got was that Bush had a tremendous character, always writing thank you notes. And when one student asked Bush why he lost re-election,
I just remember the sheer honesty of President Bush's answer. And he didn't try to pin the blame on anybody else. He took responsibility.
Something Lambert says is rare for a politician. Selena Guevara, Elon Local News.
Bush's body will be at the Capitol building until Wednesday.
SGA is considering a new budget model, and our politics editor Maggie Brown joins us live in the studio with more. Maggie?
Thanks, Grace. SGA is looking into making changes to their 19-year-old budget model after they say it wasn't serving the interest of the students. I looked into who would benefit and who would be harmed.
Each student at Elon pays a yearly $272 student activity fee. 51% of this goes to SGA's budget. The current structure has organizations pitch budgets at yearly budget hearings in the spring, which are then approved by SGA's Finance Committee. If an organization does not use their entire budget, it could be minimized the following year. Instead, Executive Secretary Max Pavanka is proposing club leaders to request funding for each expense. In the proposed model, organizations can request up to $300 at the beginning of the year. All additional expenses would be requested through a system on Phoenix Connect and approved weekly through the Finance Board. Pavanka is hoping the new budget model will give opportunities to newer clubs on campus.
And so we really think the value of this is that it'll free up more money for organizations that are active and trying to do things on campus.
Director of Safe Rides Brianna Shazat says she's concerned about the financial support her organization would receive.
whoever my successor is could not just apply for a lump sum for total repairs or gas over the semester. They'd have to apply per repair, which would leave vehicles out for a week.
Executive Director of Elon Volunteers, Katie Mars, says she is worried not all voices will be heard by SGA.
SGA has been talking about how they've been doing this for the whole semester, having these conversations, but the first time I heard of them was about a week and a half ago when I saw on an Instagram story that the town hall was even happening.
But Pavanka says he's committed to remaining flexible.
For example, a couple organizations under the Elon Volunteers umbrella brought up concerns about that during the town hall, and I know Kenna and I are trying to schedule a meeting to figure out how to plan for that and to resolve those concerns while still shifting to a model that doesn't lock those funds for things like that.
On Tuesday, SGA is releasing a revised copy of the legislation for club leaders and the public to review. Then on Thursday, SGA senators will be voting on this legislation at their last business meeting of the year. The public is welcome to attend in Mosley 215. Grace, back to you.
Thanks so much, Maggie.
For Jewish freshmen and sophomores, this year's Hanukkah celebrations will be their first away from their family. Our Amanda Gibson has more on how students are celebrating these 8 days.
For sophomore Sarah Levine, her family is finding a way to include her in the festivities from afar.
It's kind of weird because I've always been with my family during Hanukkah, and it is like a time for like my extended family to come together, so it is a little weird. But they've like FaceTimed me and they're going to FaceTime me tonight lighting the menorah.
Levine says her friends are also finding a way to celebrate with their own gift exchange.
So I usually get gifts from my parents, but I'm getting them from my friends this year.
For some students like sophomore Dan Maslow, being away from family isn't a big deal this Hanukkah.
I mean, I'm pretty indifferent. I mean, sometimes it's nice to be away from them too.
First year Zoe Kurtz is sad to be away from family, but says she's excited to celebrate with her new Jewish community here at Elon.
It's been really nice to have that family and that community.
She says Elon is different from her small Jewish community at home in Winston-Salem.
There's a lot more people who are celebrating Hanukkah, so it's really nice to come and know I have a community to celebrate with.
Rabbi Mendy Minkowitz of the Elon Chabad tries to have a family atmosphere in his home for the whole community. But around Hanukkah, he says it's especially meaningful.
It's incredibly humbling because I know that it's nothing. People aren't coming for my pretty face or for my anything. People are coming because they feel something here. People are coming because they belong.
Amanda Gibson, Elon Local News.
Tonight is the second night of Hanukkah, and celebrations will continue through the 8th night on December 10th.
Crews are now setting up for the annual Festival of Holiday Lights after it was postponed. The event was supposed to happen tomorrow, but is now scheduled for Thursday. University chaplain Jan Fuller was unavailable for an interview, but told ENN in an email that the festival was moved to accommodate the basketball game Tuesday and to give the ground 2 more days to dry out. The festival starts at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday in front of Alamance.
And after the break, we learn how payway is becoming more sustainable.
And after the break, I'll let you know if the beautiful weather we saw today will continue throughout the week.
You're watching Elon Local News.
The Office of Sustainability has been working with Elon Dining to end plastic bag use at the new Payway location in McEwen Dining Hall. Payway has since stopped this action and will provide bags at request. Plastic is harmful to the environment since it never fully breaks itself down. And Assistant Director of Elon Sustainability, Kelly Harrer, encourages students not to take plastic bags.
Whether you're at Payway, whether you're at a grocery store or a retail store, refuse plastic bags as often as you can. We have a lot of options for reusable bags at this point, so there really isn't a need for plastic bags.
Recycling bins on campus do not support plastic bags, but grocery stores and other off-campus retail locations will recycle bags brought by students. Harrah's best advice for students is to reuse plastic bags to dispose of their compostables.
Well, Grace, it was a little bit warmer out today than it normally has been here.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. You know, I grabbed my winter coat this morning to head outside, and I walked outside and I was like, where's the cold?
Definitely much more enjoyable walking to class today than it was last week. But we have our Courtney Weiner live outside on Citrone Plaza with our Phoenix 5-day forecast to tell us if this warm weather is going to stick around.
Thanks, Sam and Grace. Well, I definitely was not wearing this jacket earlier today, but now since the sun's gone down, it's gotten a little more chilly. But we saw a high of 64 today, and if you walked around campus, You probably saw lots of people in shorts, t-shirts, even flip-flops. So I know I saw a lot of that, and I definitely, again, was not wearing my jacket. Moving on to the rest of the week, tomorrow the temperature is going to drop a little bit. We're going to see a high of 51, a low of 33. The sun from today will continue into tomorrow. And Wednesday we're going to see again another drop, a high of 45 and a low of 25. Some more sunshine, but a little bit more clouds. Thursday and Friday we'll see highs in the upper 40s and the lower 30s. The sun again will continue, but on Saturday that's when we're going to see a little bit of a twist. It's going to start off dry in the afternoon, but at night we might see a little bit of snow. So we're going to see a high of 41 through Saturday, but the snow will start at night and might start and end on Sunday. That's all I have for you tonight. Back to you in the studio.
New stops. We take a look at the BioBus after the break.
I'll have a preview of this week's edition of the Pendulum, featuring a look into the movement everyone's talking about.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Tomorrow, campus emergency alerts will be tested at 10 a.m. The test is being conducted after technical problems with the last test a few weeks ago. Vice President for Student Life John Dooley sent an email this morning notifying students of the 3-minute test. If you would like to sign up for e-alerts to be sent to your phone, visit Elon's campus and safety website at elon.omnialert.net.
And for a look at what's coming up in this week's Pendulum, our Alexandra Schoenfeld joins us live in the newsroom. Alexandra?
Thank you, Grace and Sam. In this week's edition of the Pendulum, our front page stories look into Faculty Forward, a group of non-tenure track faculty here on campus who are moving to unionize. They had their first event last Thursday. And in Lifestyle, we have a feature on Elon's Finest, a dance crew here at Elon who had their fall collaboration show on Friday. And in sports, our sports director Jack Haley looks into the future of men's basketball as one of their senior players face physical setbacks. That's all we have. Make sure to pick up your copy of the Pendulum this Wednesday morning. Back to you.
Thank you, Alexandra.
And the BioBus is starting a new route to encourage more students to attend games at the Schar Center. Before and after each game, buses will arrive and drive a 12-minute loop around campus, stopping at Danley Commons and the McMichael parking lot. But to understand just how the BioBus functions, I took a look at what makes the wheels on the bus go round. The sound of the BioBus is constant at Elon. The BioBus runs 5 regular routes around campus in the Elon area, going everywhere from Danley to downtown Burlington.
I think it's a big part of sustainability as far as, because if you think about it, you know, if you have 15 people on the bus coming to class, you know, that's 15 cars that's not running with emissions.
Keith DeMont is Elon's automotive services manager and oversees the BioBus program. The program originally started in 2006 and now costs an average of $350,000 to run each year. Junior Olivia Hensley lives off campus and says she feels the cost is worth it, especially as construction on campus changes where you can park.
If it's a reliable service for students, it might be a well invested.
Hensley says that she uses the BioBus almost 5 days a week, just like junior Zoe Griffin.
Ever since I came here, I started using the BioBus because I didn't bring a car to campus, and I wanted to still get off campus without having to paying for like Ubers or like a Zip car or something like that.
There are 23 BioBus drivers, and all are required to have a commercial driver's license in order to drive the BioBus. DeMont says that his favorite part of his job is working with drivers and seeing relationships between drivers and students blossom.
I'll get notes sometime from a student and all says, I really like my driver, such and such, a lot says, I get on the bus and I see a smile and I love to start my day that way.
While DeMont and his team are working on using the buses to get more people to the games, he also said he has future plans to start a BioBus route to South Campus.
And when we come back, a look at a winter wonderland of lights.
And I'm Jack Haley. Coming up after the break, I'll let you know everything coming up this week for Elon Athletics. Stay tuned.
Our Jack Haley is live in the studio with sports. Jack?
Thank you, Grace. Men's basketball split the first 2 games of their 5-game homestand last week, beating Central Penn and losing to Boston University. The team gets tested even more this week. First, they play Furman University. The undefeated and nationally ranked Paladins have beaten 2 of last year's Final Four teams, Villanova and Loyola Chicago, thanks in part to a game-winning dunk beating the Ramblers. Then they will be in the Charter Center Tuesday night to play the Phoenix at 7 p.m. Then the team plays a tough UNCG team on Friday. The women will play host Davidson on Wednesday after going 2-1 last week. That's all the sports I have for you. Grace and Samantha, back to you.
Thanks, Jack. Just a few minutes down the road, the largest Christmas light display in the county, causing standstill traffic for miles. The Twin Lakes Retirement Community in Burlington hosted their annual Lane of Lights event on Saturday and Sunday evening. Our Rachel Ellis spoke with some of the people spending their Sunday night on University Drive to ring in the holiday season.
Bumper to bumper. Waiting and more waiting.
About an hour and 15 minutes.
Have you ever had any moments where you thought you might turn around?
Yeah, actually we have. But we've waited it out this long, we might as well keep going.
Kids becoming a bit impatient too. The Twin Lakes Retirement Community in Burlington, hosting the annual Lanes of Light event on Sunday evening. A mile-long drive to dozens of illuminated trees and light displays, bringing in the holiday season.
Little voices in the back seat.
But for some people sitting tight in traffic, it's the season of giving that makes sticking around worth it. There's not only children in the back seat, but also some holiday cheer. The cost of entry,
Vegetables, canned foods, and different types of stuff.
Smiles and positivity shining brighter than the headlights on their cars.
Cars as far as the eye can see, a commute that should take only about 5 minutes, lasting more than an hour. For those giving back this holiday season. Feels nice.
And for the residents greeting the cars that finally make it to their destination, there's a jolly spirit in the air.
Everybody loves the excitement of Christmas that comes through, the lights, the community, sense of community.
The kids seeing the lights for the first time agree.
Was the line worth the wait? Oh yeah, what are you excited to see here tonight? Christmas trees, lights.
Rachel Ellis.
Merry Christmas.
Elon Local News.
The Twin Lakes community partners with the Salvation Army for the event. All canned food will be donated to the Salvation Army Food Ministry. The Elon class of 2023 is already beginning its journey to campus. 88% of the 373 applications sent in were admitted to the university. Applicants were notified on Thursday, November 29th, and Vice President for Enrollment Greg Zeiser says that so far the class of 2023 has seen noticeable increases in application from Black identified and Asian identified students. Early action applications are planned to be expected to be released on Thursday, December 20th, with over 7,000 early action applications received. The class of 2023 has had a record number of early action applications, with over 7,000 received.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for our last Elon Local News of the semester. I'm Grace Morris.
And I'm Samantha Casamento. For all the news you need to know when we are not on the air, visit us at elonnewsnetwork.com. And be sure to follow us on our social media platforms at Elon News Network.
But before we go, we want to leave you with some words from George H.W. Bush during Elon's spring convocation of April 2001. Good night.
Afraid of trying or dreaming. Don't even be afraid of failure or tears. We all stumble, we all fear, and that's what makes us human. But none of us should ever regret. You know, none of us should ever sit at a grandchild's graduate and think, I wish that were me out there starting over again. There's so much in life I'd like to do differently. You have a lifetime of chances in your grasp right now, so don't lose any of them. Don't give up the chance to take a risk, follow a vision, hug a child, change a life.